Hello everyone! In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a printable planner. Now, if you're the type of person who really likes to do journaling, or you would like to plan your days, your weeks, or your month, and you always use planner, like the one that I shows right here, you might actually want to have your own planner templates. Either it's the one that you use on your gadgets or maybe the one that you would like to print out. Now you can actually buy these printable templates from Etsy, Amazon, or even any other marketplace. But what if I tell you that you can actually create one for yourself for free? And all you have to do is create an account on Canva and start creating your planner on Canva. And this is totally free unless you're going to be using the Canva Pro account like the one that I'm using. But don't worry, even without the Pro account, you can still create the planner totally for free. And throughout this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do it. So first things first, you can directly create a design from blank if you want, and you can just go ahead and click this create a design button. Or if you would like to try to search for some inspirations, you can scroll around Pinterest like I did here, or go to Canva templates and type in planner. And once you enter, you're going to be able to see planner templates that looks like this. Now remember that you can create this kind of planner for free if you choose any templates, or if you're going to create your own planner from scratch without choosing any elements that has the Pro symbols like this one. So if you're scrolling around Canva, you'll be able to find a template or maybe elements that has this crown symbol, and it means that this one is a Pro template. And in order for you to be able to download it, you will need to upgrade your account for Pro. So if you're going for a template that looks like this is totally free, and this one's too. So like I said earlier, don't worry, you can still find a lot of beautiful templates for free. And for today, I'm going to create the planner from scratch because I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that I like to do when I am designing something in Canva. So I'm going to go ahead and click this create blank button. Now for the measurement or the format, you can choose whatever format you want. I just got the one from the template, so this is how it looks like. It comes in the form of doc. It doesn't really matter what form you're choosing. At the end of the day, all of the editing, all of the elements and other things are totally the same. So I'm going to start by creating my calendar here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this element section. I'm not going to do anything about the coloring for now. I'm just going to design it first and then decide the colors later. So here I'm going to go to the element sections, and then I'm going to go ahead and type in grid, in which I've searched recently, apparently. Now when you go to the element sections, you have a variety of things that you can choose. You can try to search for graphic, you can search for photos, video, charts, and in this case what I'm going to be using is the graphic one. So I'm going to go ahead and click on graphic and try to see if there are any graphic that I can use. So things like this looks pretty good, or maybe some things like this. You can choose whether you like your calendar to be opened or to be closed. Doesn't really matter. It depends on your preference. I think I am going to be using the open one, which is this one's right here. And then I'm just going to adjust this to my page. So I'm going to go ahead and enlarge it first. Then I'm going to click enter because this is a doc type. And I'm going to make sure that it is in the center of my page. So it looks some things like this. And next what we need to do is we're going to add the dates into my calendar. So I'm just going to use this month as a reference. And I'm going to go ahead and open my calendars right here so that I know when the date starts. And in order to add the text, all we have to do is click on this plus button right here, and then you can choose whether you want to add heading, subheading, or body. It doesn't really matter because you can always adjust the font as well as the font size later on. I'm just going to go with the subheading for now. And then I'm going to start and write on my days as well as my date. Alright, so I ended up changing my document type from document to phone wallpaper because I find it easier to edit things on this form. And I added my days, and I haven't tidied it up yet, but I'm just going to tell you one thing that I do if the design does not go along with what I want it to be. So you can see that I am lacking in 1 days. I have Monday, Tuesday, I want to say Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, but I don't have a space for my Sunday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and Control C on this element. So click on it first until you can see the purple square, and then Control V on it. And I'm just going to go ahead and zoom it in so that I can align this lines like so. So you can see that this one is still thicker than the other one. So I'm just going to zoom it in one more time and adjust it so that it's going to align really well. And you can see now I got the additional 1 row to add my Sunday. So in order to be able to move this freely and not separate them, I'm going to go ahead and click on Shift on my keyboard and click on the first grid, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on Group. Now what it does is that it's going to join these two elements together so that if I move it around, it becomes one element instead of two. Now I can continue and tidy up my days and add up my dates. So in order to add text box on a design with this kind of document type, you can just go ahead and click on this text sections right here, and then you can choose whether you want to add a heading, add a subheading, or add a little bit of body text. Because I want the text to be small, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this one and start adding my date. So I added my first row of dates, and one thing I really like about Canva is that when you're trying to copy a bunch of text to another row, it's going to give you the exact same length between each other, and I'm going to show you what I meant. So let's say that I want all of this row to be copied and pasted into the second row. All I have to do is click Shift on my keyboard as I click on all of the text that I want to copy and paste, and then click on Control C on my keyboard and then Control V to paste the text, and you can see that it all's copied with the exact same length so that I don't have to repeat the same thing over and over again. I don't have to readjust my text. I only need to readjust them as a group and not individually. So now I'm going to continue and fill in all of the box until the end of month. Alright, so I'm done with the dates as well as the days, and I'm also going to add a heading for the name of my month. But instead of using the basic text box, I'm going to take a look at the font combination. So if you go to the text sections right here, you'll be able to see a font combinations that you can use. And there are some fonts that I feel are really cute, so I think I'm going to use it. I think this one is really pretty, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And it's going to show on my design. Here I'm just going to put it on top right here, and then I'm going to change the text to Hello July, because this one is for the month of July. Now this is the first hack or the first tips that I can give you when you're trying to create multiple page for different months. Instead of having to type in the text every single time, you can actually do some things like this. So first I'm going to edit the designs first until I feel satisfied with it. So I'm just going to put this closer, group it again, and then put it like so. And then you can go to the app sections right here and try to search for an app that calls bulk create. So you can go ahead and click on the bulk create option, and then you can upload your data. Maybe you already have the list of things you want to put on Canva, on Excel or CSV, but I always like to enter my data manually. So I'm just going to delete the existing one because I don't need 2 columns, I only need 1. So here, let's say I'm going to restart from July. And then we got August, September, October, November, and December. All right, once it's done, we can just go ahead and scroll all the way down until we find this done button. And then you're going to want to click on the text you want to connect to this data and click on connect data. And now you're going to want to click on continue and click generate 6 design. Now what it does is that it's going to create a new file so that you can still have your original file in case you want to keep it as the main templates or something like that, so you still have the original design undisturbed. But it does going to create a new design with names added to it, so you don't have to manually add one by one. You still do have to edit maybe the size of the text if you don't like it, but I think it's easier to re-edit a little bit than to add things manually one by one. Obviously, you're also going to make sure that the days and the dates goes right on each month, or if you don't want to go through all of the hassle, you can just go ahead and delete all of the names of the days so that you can still use the dates as it is. Now I'm just going to go back to the original data and then continue designing this one. So you can see that I actually have an additional row right here, and I don't really like how it looks just empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to erase this, and usually this is what I will do. I'm going to go to the element sections and I'm going to search for shapes like this, maybe the square one. And for now I have my background as white. I might change it later on, but it doesn't really matter for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna position this on the very bottom row of my grid. It doesn't really have to be that big actually, it just have to be as big as the final row. And then I'm going to position it so that it's going to cover the bottom row like this, and then I'm going to change the colors to white, and voila. I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. Alright, perfect. And it looks something like this. Now I have a cleaner looking calendar, and if I would like to group everything so that it's going to make it easier for me to move things around, because you can see, let's say if I want to click on this one and then I move it, the date stays. And let's say that I want to readjust the positions of this calendar, I can just click on the very top of my calendar and then drag everything and then click on group, and now this is all a one unison of element instead of different element altogether. And you can stop here if you want, or if you like to spice things up a bit, you can add another shapes below this. Maybe you want to add some sort of notes area, you can add something like this, make it bigger. And I'm just going to see all of the graphic that it recommends to me. And then I'm also going to add the stars because it's cute. Add it on top of here. And I'm just going to add the text notes right here, but I think I need one more small element. This ones will do. Going to make it slightly smaller. And then click on this triple dots right here, click on layer and click send backward to make sure that this text is going to be behind the stars. And then I'm going to add a text box, and I can just choose from ones available here. Click on Ctrl C and then Ctrl V so that I will have the same font. And then I'm going to make it smaller and type in notes. Alright, so it looks some things like this. And again, I can always drag on top of these elements to make sure that they can become a unison, and then readjust the whole things. And I can even make it smaller or bigger, and I don't have to adjust everything one by one. Now you can see that it's still a little bit messy because I don't have a unison when it comes to font type. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this and then highlight on all of the things and choose my font. So you can choose whichever font you want. You can even make it different. You don't have to make everything as the same font. And in order to choose your font, you can just click on this font bar sections right here and play around with the font that you see. Again, I'm going to remind you to avoid the font that has this crown symbol because it is a symbol for the pro account. If you're using the free account, you can just use any font that doesn't have crown symbols on it. Alright, so I have changed my font, and now everything still looks a little bit too bland. So remember that I told you I'm not going to focus on the color for now, and that's because I'm going to show you another hacks that I really like to do when I am designing on Canva. So let's say that you have already created your design and you feels like you don't really like the color combinations, but you don't really know how to mix and match the colors yourself. All you have to do is go to your browser, and then let's say that I want to play around with a brown color palette, and you can choose whatever colors you want. This one's right here looks pretty cool, so I'm going to go ahead and download this, and then just to be safe, I'm going to try and search for some other color palette in case that I don't like how the first one turns out. Like maybe this one's right here. This one also looks really cool, so I'm going to go ahead and click save image. And then next, what you're going to do is you're going to want to go back to your design and go to the upload sections right here and go ahead and upload your color palette. And once you got your color palette uploaded, you're going to want to bring that color palette into your design like so, and then right click on it and scroll down until you find this apply colors to page options. And just like that, you got the color inserted into your design, and you can actually repeat the step numerous times until you found the desired color palette that you want. Alright, so I ended up using this color palette as my base, and then I'm going to add some more elements just so that it doesn't look too empty. So I think I'm going to add this one, put it on the sides like this, and then I'm also going to play around with the transparency so that it's not too opaque. Now at this point, you can just add whatever it is that you want and play around with your imagination. Alright, so this is how it looks like so far. I added up some elements to make things look more festive. And now let's say that you want to create another page for maybe taking notes, or maybe if you wanted to add something that looks like this one's right here. It's just like a bunch of to-do lists and notes. You can also do that by duplicating this page so that you can still have all of the elements, and all you have to do is just delete the calendars right here. And then let's say that I'm still going to use this one. I'm going to say this and that for this section, and then make the font smaller so that it's going to be on one row. And you can also adjust the spacing of the text or the line by going to this spacing sections right here. You can see that you can adjust the text or the letter spacing, and then you can also adjust the line spacing if it's more than just one line. All right, and then I'm going to create something that looks like this, but I also want to add this element. So I'm going to add this sparkle first, and then maybe this elements next, and maybe this flowers next. I'm just going to put it here. So I'm just going to add a bunch of things for now and then adjust it later. And I am going to delete this one as well. And I think this one is good for the base, so I'm going to add this as my base and then add this type of things to act like a stickers on top of smaller paper and start building my design on my second page. So I'm going to bring this ones to the front so it looks something like this, and then I'm going to copy this elements right here, paste it and put it alongside of the first element. And I'm also going to make this one act like a sticker, so click on the triple dots, click on layer and bring this ones to the front. But I'm going to change the direction of the flowers by clicking on this flip section and click flip horizontally so it looks something like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and group this two and adjust it like so. And I noticed that the flower doesn't really look good with this color, so I'm just going to go ahead and choose another color for the flower. This one looks way better. Or maybe I can just change the color of the smaller paper to other color. Let's see. This pink one looks cute, so maybe I'm going to use that, or this slightly peachy one right here. So I'm just going to continue and create this smaller paper section, and I'm going to get back to you once it's done. So I added these little paper, pretend little paper, as well as some lines, and I'm going to show you another tricks that I like to do when it comes to designing on Canva. So I got my lines here, and they are actually not tidied up yet. I haven't adjusted the position, so it's a little bit messy. And in order to make this a little bit more tidied up, instead of having it to adjust this one by one like so, I can just actually click on all of the lines that I want to tidy it up, click on position, and then click this tidy up. And as you can see, all of the lines looks way better now. It's all tidied up, and then I can just go ahead and group this all together and copy and paste it on the one below it, so it looks something like this. All right, so that is my second page, and you can continue building up your page of Printable Planner to however you want it to be. So if you ever needed some more inspiration, you can always go back to the designs part right here and then go ahead and type in planner, and it's going to give you some more inspiration that you can use to build up your design. And then if you ever want to print it, all you have to do is click on share and then choose PDF print as the file type, so that it's going to have the right color when you save it, and it is just the right file type for you to print out. And that's basically it. That is how you can create and design Printable Planner on Canva. I hope this tutorial is helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.